Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 2443. Thank you for joining me,
Mike's Daily Podcast.
On this FF episode, live from Cafe Anyway, somewhere in Podcastro Valleyton. I'm Mike Matthews, and I had a lot of fun yesterday. I did absolutely nothing. I just watched YouTube videos, and I feel very, I don't know, what's the word? I guess I did nothing. I produced
Mike's Daily Podcast.
I produced nothing yesterday. All I did was just rest. I guess I'm well rested, is what I'm saying.
Mike's
Because it's going to be a busy week.
Daily
Last week was a busy week.
Podcast.
And now,
Yeah!
I'm getting ready for a very, very busy week. So I guess you need that time. You need that time to just unplug and enjoy and watch some ridiculous videos. I watched, you know what? They were somewhat educational. I watched one about lines at amusement parks in specific Disneyland, and how they came up with the Fast Pass system, and how now that's now the Genie system, and how it all works with a line. Lines are created because the thing that people want is taking that's the time at the end of the line where people, or the destination, let's say on rides, you know, they are able to let people in and they ride the ride and they do the thing. But then if that is moving slower than the amount of people arriving, you create a line, and then you create a wait time, and that's what they're trying to avoid. Now there's all these other complicated side things about, well, now you have someone with a fast pass who gets priority, who gets to cut in front of the line. What about all the people that are still in line? I found out those people are called standbys. They're called
And here's today's podcast picture.
standbys. First, I don't like anything about that word. First, the standing. I hate standing. Standing when you just stand. Ouch. After a while, your legs get tired, your feet get tired. And then bye. I don't want to say bye. I hate goodbyes. No, my point is, the podcast picture today, my lovely lady friend, while I was doing all of that watching, went up to Mount Shasta. And she's up there now, and she took a wonderful picture, and you can see that at MikesDailyPodcast.com. What a phenomenal time she is having. But we wait in a lot of lines in this world. That's the late great Basil the Boxer. He was British, so he would have said queue. We queue up a lot. Basil, thank you, Basil. The wonderful late great Basil the Boxer. Okay, so we wait in line, and the whole thing is, if the destination, if the target can process people faster, then you don't have this long wait time. And there you go. What they did mention too. Oh, it's called balking. Balking. When you balk. When you're balking at a line, when you're like, I'm not going to wait in that line, and you leave. That means that now the destination, the target, whatever it is, the ride, is not going to have you. You were a potential person, a potential customer, who's now balked at them and left. Has that happened to you before, where you're like, oh man, that restaurant, the wait is too long, let's go across the street? That's called balking. Balking. Barking? Balking. B-A-L-K-I-N-G. It's what I'm probably going to call this show, so you know what it is. Fascinating stuff. So I watched a YouTube on that. I watched a YouTube on Brian Setzer from the Stray Cats. You remember the Brian Setzer Orchestra? He had that, you gotta jump jiming, then you will, you gotta jump jiming, then you will, during the big swing era in the mid to late 90s. He covered that Louis Prima song, and then had tremendous success with it. And he had success before with the Stray Cats doing that rockabilly sound. Now, I knew his wife, his second wife, Christine. I grew up with her. She was the daughter of my mom's best friend. And So I need to actually probably get in touch with her because Christine's mom passed away within the past 5 years. And that's actually, she called my mom to tell me. So I need to call her to tell her that my mom has passed. But anyway, Christine had married Brian Setzer, was his second wife. That marriage did not last, but I believe they had 2 kids. So fascinating stuff. I watched the Behind the Music. Remember when Behind the Music was this big thing on VH1? Remember when VH1 was a big thing? Is VH1 even on the air still? It's probably all reality TV, just like MTV, because VH1 was trying to be MTV. The point being, I watched a lot of YouTube. Now, I'm glad that I got it out of my system. I don't want to watch any more YouTube, even though this podcast is on YouTube. Since this is an audio podcast, what it is basically like a little, the whole, you don't see anything. I'm not filming this. I'm recording this, the audio. This is for your ears, not really for your eyes. So what you got on YouTube is the graphic. What you're seeing is just the podcast picture. But you are hearing me. So I don't have a bunch of people following me on YouTube. I got, I think, less than 20. And of course, nobody listens to this podcast, no matter what platform it's on. It's on a bunch of platforms. Odyssey, TuneIn, iHeart, all the podcasts, Google Podcasts, iTunes, iPodcasts, whatever they call it, just everywhere on the planet Earth that you can find podcasts. Not on Twitch, not on TikTok. Well, actually, I do have a Twitch channel, but it's not really conducive for this podcast. So the point is, you can catch this podcast other places. Oh, the only benefit to checking this out on YouTube is I do put a small videoette in between each show. So whatever podcast I'm doing, I do a little videoette for it. Tiny little 30-second thing where you can see where I'm recording here at Cafe Anyway, and the microphone I'm using, and that I'm Mike, and what mic I'm on, and then you can see that there's a link at, actually I put the link as well, my website. So just go to my website, because I pay for that, and it's just basically wasting money unless you go there, MikesDailyPodcast.com. So some of the YouTube channel people that I watch, they're very fascinating. There's this one lady, Chris the Girl. There's a lot of Chris's in the show. My mom was named Krista. We're talking about Brian Setzer's ex-wife, Christine, that I knew as a small child. Oh, yeah, we're about the same age as we go outside a cafe anyway. We were bringing Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcast Rebellington. And there's a picture somewhere of the two of us in a bath when we're like little babies. Just like barely one. And they had us in the same bath together. So I bathed with Brian Setzer's ex-wife. But the thing is, that's neither here nor there or up there. Or what is that up there? Oh my gosh! It's in the trees. It's coming. It's Kate Bush. No, it's in the trees. It's a squirrel. Have you noticed squirrels are fighting a lot lately? I noticed that in my backyard and at Cafe Anyway. Where are we? YouTube channel people that do the YouTubes, that do shows, that do their little video channels. One of them is named Chris. Oh yeah, we're talking about people named Chris and Krista and Christine. Chris has left Pennsylvania and is moving down to Florida to be with her boyfriend, Jay. And Chris does some fantastic videos where she covers places. I like her style. I like the way, because a lot of YouTubers, they just go for the same things. Everybody's doing the same stuff, videoing when they do travel blogs. But I like her style. It's not a lot of quick edits. I can't stand those YouTubes that are overly produced. She just is very natural, very organic. I like her. Carpetbagger's pretty organic. Chris's boyfriend, Tampa J, also does similar travel videos. He's pretty good, although he's way too much into sports. If you go to another baseball game, dude, I really can't care less. Sorry. Even though my guest on the last podcast, Ken Luttrell, Big fan of the baseball. But yes, I really appreciate Chris. Chris, moving down to be with her boyfriend, left her place in Pennsylvania. And it was very sweet because she had packed all her things in her car. She's looking through the place before she leaves. By the way, in Pennsylvania, for the amount of rent that you pay to get maybe a room in someone's house here in the Bay Area, you can have a huge, big old apartment. I think it practically looks like she had the whole house to herself. So she was leaving that very nice place to move down to Florida. And she said goodbye to the place and said, you know, when I first moved in here, I didn't know Tampa Jay yet. I just knew his videos. I used to watch his videos right here in this room. She's pointing out. And I'd watch him on YouTube, and I got to thinking about creating a channel myself. So now, I guess somehow they reached out to each other late last year, and he flew up to see her, or drove up to see her, and they started hanging out, and a romance began. But she was leaving her house with all of her stuff, and it got me to thinking about when we move and start and create big new undertakings and huge new challenges and push off from the dock and begin a new trip around the world in our little boats of imagination and pure drive to change. And there are ways to create a fresh new start that I wanted to tell you about. When you create a new start, to help you create a fresh new start, eliminate relationships with people who try to control you. You want to eliminate relationships with people who disregard your boundaries, who take without giving, who lie to you, who are always right in their minds, and degrading to you. Take the time to appreciate the unique individuals that cross your path every day. Oh, speaking of lines and waiting in lines in Disneyland, Walt Disney's idea for ride lines initially, you know how, I don't know if you've ever been to Disneyland, or this is true of most lines today. He created it's called the wrap, I think is it the wraparound or the back and forth or the snake? I don't know what it is, but it's the line where the line just weaves in and out, back and forth, so you're going up one side of the line and you're basically surrounded by people going the opposite direction. You're going one way and the people on either side of you are going the other way. And the people, like, I guess maybe to the left are ahead of you. The people to the right are behind you. But you see the same people back and forth, back and forth. And Walt Disney's idea was this would be a great way for people to meet, to talk. And while they're talking in line, the line goes by faster. They're distracted, which is a technique that they've tried to make lines a little less difficult. I just heard from my lovely lady friend. Oh, she sent a picture of Shasta and there's a heart in the Shasta. Oh, beautiful. Oh, wow, Shasta's looking very clear today. Very nice. I'll have to post that in future podcast pictures. Well, people don't talk to each other in lines. Have you noticed that? Seldom do they do that. I was in a line like that when I was in Texas in October, and we were trying to get on this one. We rode 3 rides that day at Six Flags over Texas. It was so busy, so crowded. Post-pandemic, people are walking. I didn't see a single mask on anybody, and we're waiting forever in this line. Back and forth. It was one of those weaving lines. Never once talked. I saw the same T-shirts and went, oh, it's that T-shirt again. Oh, they went and saw Sublime, or they say they saw Sublime, but that must have been pretty difficult because it looks like they weren't even born when Sublime broke up or when the lead singer died. You know, that kind of thing. How could that kid know who the Beatles are? That kind of thing. Or what is that baseball team I don't care about? So now we don't do that so much with those back and forth lines. It's more they have lines like at Disneyland where the whole line is you don't see where it's going. You're like going into a cave or a building and you see various things along the way, objects or animatronic type creatures talking to you, or it's involved. So you're distracted. That's one way to get through a line and make it feel like, oh, I wasn't actually waiting in the line and hurting my feet because I was standing and I was standby. So talking to strangers helps you start a new start. Of the 7 billion individuals that live on this earth, you have the opportunity to see and interact with a select few. I remember when we were just about hitting 5 billion people. Now 7 billion. Cut your hair. Coco Chanel hit the nail on the head when she said, a woman who cuts her hair is about to change her life. Make a new goal. Get out of your comfort zone. You already know what you can experience. There. Go beyond the status quo and set up a goal you would laugh at and think was impossible. Maybe your goal is to take care of an ant farm. Host a monthly book club. Learn how to cook a 7-course meal, whatever it may be. Set the goal and work toward accomplishing it. I have a goal of trying to fix my shower. And I hope I can achieve it. Maybe tomorrow was my plan. Set a goal and achieve it. Starting something new. Nothing beats the fulfilling energy that comes from planting. Plant a plant. Plant a tree. Plant something that produces vegetables or fruits. It's nourishing, and harvesting food straight from Mother Earth is very rewarding. Hug people. Looking for a free way to be happy? Hug people. Define, I don't know what that's about, creating a new change, but you're supposed to hug random people? I don't know what that one's about, but yes, probably you can get a lot out of hugging people. Just, has to be consensual, that kind of thing. But you know that already. Figure out who you are, and want to make sure they don't have COVID. That would help. Maybe both mask up. I don't know. Remember, we couldn't hug each other 2 years ago. It's fascinating. Figure out who you are and who you want to be. Whatever role you choose to fill, define exactly what the role means to you. Outline the steps or ways you can become that ideal and implement those specific steps in your daily life. Get out and explore your hometown. Be a local tourist. Find unique food joints, local traditions, the prettiest flower gardens, the history behind the oldest building in your city. Discover new hiking trails, what kind of trees are in your own backyard, and play at every local park within a 20-mile radius. See the beauty in your immediate surroundings. People who, I'm going to start. I'm bored with this place. Well, a lot of people don't even look at the place that they're at. There's a lot to see. And it's funny because the same people, right when they're about to pull up the stakes and leave and pull up the roots and move on and move to some new city far away, that's when they go, oh man, I didn't know this was here. Oh, well, I gotta go. I gotta go and move. Are you looking to define your purpose and reason for being? Create a personal mission statement, a standard to live by, and act upon it. To create a fresh new start in your life, develop a selfless versus selfish ratio. It's okay and completely normal to set aside time to place your own needs first. Waste a whole day watching YouTube. Sometimes it's more important to remember that the best way you can take care of others is by taking care of yourself first. Amp up your wardrobe. Lighten up, let loose, and dress to feel like your new self. Update your closet. Get rid of your beige cardigans. Be bold and spice up your go-to look with a little flair and unexpected style. Mike, does that mean I have to get rid of my t-shirts? No! Hey, you can see the t-shirt I'm wearing today at my YouTube channel, or go to MikesDailyPodcast.com. Look for FF episode 2443 called in the episode called Balk or Balking, and you'll see the amazing t-shirt I'm wearing. It's a country star, a famous country star. That's all I'll say. You might surprise yourself and gain a little more confidence when you amp up and update your wardrobe. Cleanse yourself with a new diet. Try cleansing your body by fueling it with healthy foods. Cut back on the carbs. Replace your white bread with wheat, with the grains in it. Eat an apple instead of fruit snacks. An actual apple. And drink water instead of soda. It's a shame, when you eat poorly, you feel awful eating that donut for breakfast. Oh my gosh, if I have a donut for breakfast, I feel terrible the rest of the day. It's the grease, the fat, the carbs eating at your mind that tends to bring you down and lower your self-esteem. And then that thing, Feng Shui. I don't know about that, but people say that helps with the good vibes. Reorganize your living room or remodel your bedroom. That part I can take and use. It's good to update your place, move stuff around. Get out of your comfort zone. See if different placements of objects, furniture, tampers or changes in the mood in the room, or perhaps maybe it's more efficient to put the table over there instead of over there, or move that chair over there. Hey, you get a better view of whatever if you move the chair over there instead of over there. Move the bed around. I don't know. Try something new. Okay, that's all from Hannah Rose. She writes for FamilyToday.com. That's where I got that, FamilyToday.com. What else? Oh, Nancy Pelosi's husband, Paul Pelosi, got a DUI this past weekend. He is the current Speaker of the United States House of... the husband of the current Speaker, Nancy Pelosi, of our House of Representatives, was allegedly arrested at approximately 11:44 last night for driving under the influence and containing a blood alcohol content of 0.08 or higher. The incident took place in Napa Valley, where there's a lot of those grapes, fermented grapes, the wine. Oh, my mom hated Nancy Pelosi. It was vicious. They're like the same age too, and both and both charges he reportedly faces are considered misdemeanors. That would be Paul Pelosi. Got in trouble for that. And fish off the coast of Florida. Speaking of my mom, who used to live in Florida, and when she passed, I considered for a little while I might move to Florida and move into her house, but decided against it. I want to stick with you, California. You better be appreciative of that. Fish off the coast of Florida test positive for pharmaceutical drugs. A cocktail of pharmaceutical drugs, including antidepressants and blood pressure medications. It was a 3-year study conducted by researchers at the Florida International University and the Bonefish and Tarpon Trust, or the BTT. That's a nonprofit based in Miami, focused on bonefish and tarpon conservation. Wow, they took, that's what they found out. It reflects a serious problem with ocean contamination from human wastewater. Pharmaceuticals are an invisible threat, unlike algae blooms or turbid waters. These results tell us that they are a formidable threat to our fisheries and highlight the pressing need to address our long-standing wastewater infrastructure issues. That, according to the people over there at MSN.com. Oh, and they got this from CNN.com. Okay, and we're outside a cafe anyway, somewhere in Podcastro Valley. Look who's here.
Hello, my commander, it's Madame Rootabega, and I like to go to the place near Mount Shasta and get a massage. Oh,
a massage? You like massages?
Yes.
You like Napa Valley?
Yes.
You You like Nancy Pelosi?
No.
Wow. Just like my mom. Look who else is here.
Hello there, Mike. This is Valentino, the
And it's Bison Bentley.
Mike, for a fresh start, what I like to do every day is take my bed and throw it out the window there.
Yeah, he throws it out the window. Wow, that's a way to... Do you get the bed and put it back in the bedroom later? And then that's how you make your bed?
Yeah, something like that. I'm not really going into too much detail because I'm out here in the parking lot there. Packing cash. Packing cash.
Baloney.
Packing.
I heard you the first time. Thanks.
Yay, packs cash.
The next show will feature the wonderful Chely Shoehart, Floyd the Floorman, John Deere the engineer. Tell me what you think about what we covered today. 336MM Daily. 3 plus 3 equals 6. MM as in Mike Matthews. Daily as in what this podcast is. Call me at Cafe Anyway. Leave a massage.
What in the world was that about?
And also, you can email me, MikesDailyPodcast@gmail.com. And to repeat all of that, why, it's a frame.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MikesDailyPodcast.com. Email Mike now at MikesDailyPodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!